Hi, the topic of this week will be about the unknown vocabulary that you may come across while reading a passage, and how to guess or know the meaning of such vocabulary from the context. In addition to saving time, the importance of this strategy is that it helps you increase your vocabulary repertoire and improve your reading ability and speed. By mastering this strategy, you will not need to interrupt or stop your reading to always look up words in a dictionary. Therefore, you will build up the sequence of ideas in an incessant way, and you will not supposedly forget the early built-up ideas, because forgetting them will make you get back to read from the beginning to recollect these ideas again and again. So, we should learn and practice this strategy and try to reduce the use of dictionaries as much as we can, because motivating and depending on our intellect can make us better, quicker, and more confident readers. An essential point that should be mentioned here is that knowing the meaning of the unknown words is not that necessary. Some words can be skipped without affecting the main idea or ideas in the text. Still, other words are central to the main topic, and skipping them may not be helpful in the process of understanding. Thus, using the context to guess their meaning is very significant. On the other hand, in case the context itself does not help in guessing the meaning of an important word that we need to know, then we resort to a dictionary as a final decision. So let's know what we mean by the context of a word, its benefits, and how to make use of it. First, the context of a word is the surrounding words and sentences as well as the paragraph that contains that word. Second, the benefits that we may get from the context of a word are the meaning of that word and its part of a speech, whether a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. And then the most important point, which our lesson is discussing, is how to make the best use of the context to know the meaning of a given word. There are often clues in the context of a given word that help us guess or know its meaning. Of these clues, we have synonymy, two or more words that share the same meaning. Antonymy, oppositeness in meaning. Exemplification, examples, mostly by using signal words as for example, for instance, like, as, such as, and including. The whole meaning that the contextual paragraph or sentence makes. Paraphrasing, defining by using punctuation marks. In this lesson, we will have an illustrating example on each of these clues, and in the coming lesson, we will select words from the passage about the internet penetrations and practice finding their meaning from their context. Let's start with the first type of the mentioned contextual clues, which is synonymy. Example: the poor people in the east of the country live in tents and lack the simplest means of living. The case of such impoverished people should be considered by the international organizations. If you see the bold word in the context of the two sentences, you notice that it is synonymous with the word poor, since it describes the same noun, people, mentioned at the beginning with the same state, which is poverty. Synonymy is a common technique used by writers in order to avoid repetition. This means that if we use a word and we need to repeat its meaning, we don't usually use the same word. Instead, we resort to using other different words that have similar meaning. Then, antonymy. Example: olive oil is very useful. It not only increases good cholesterol, but also diminishes bad cholesterol. Notice that the context tells you that the word diminish is the opposite of the word increase. then you can easily determine its meaning as reduce or decrease. Exemplification. An example. Stationery such as pens, pencils, erasers, rulers, and sharpeners is becoming cheaper worldwide. The examples here give a clear clue to you that the meaning of the word stationery is materials used for writing. The whole meaning that the contextual paragraph or sentence makes. Example. Although his child died 3 months ago, you can still see a lot of lugubriousness in his eyes. If we have a look at the meaning of the whole sentence, we can think of the meaning of the bold word lugubriousness as sadness or mournfulness. Paraphrasing, which means defining or restating the meaning of a word by using punctuation marks. Usually the punctuation marks are commas, dashes, or parentheses. This technique is used to illustrate the meaning of unfamiliar words. You don't need to make guesses here, but you should only read and understand the paraphrased meaning. See the example and how we can write the paraphrased meaning using the 3 mentioned ways of punctuation. Notice the use of the punctuation marks when the paraphrased meaning is near from the beginning of the sentence. We have 2 commas, 2 dashes, and 2 parentheses. But if the paraphrase occurs at the end of the sentence before a full stop, as you see in the examples, we use 1 comma, 1 dash, and we keep 2 parentheses. See you in the next video with more examples on this strategy.